Hello, 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 friends. Nicholas here. And I just had to jerry rig my setup. I have like stepping blocks and then two yoga blocks. And then I'm sitting on a bench and I figured out how to detach my microphone from the little rig that it was sitting on. I need to do it in this room because it's a little bit noisy over by the heater right now because it's heating the yoga room. Ah, goodness. So, jerry rig all of a sudden inspired a bunch of thoughts in me. And I'll go down that road. So anyway, Nicholas with DIVOted Talks. And how often do you jerry rig your life, right? Like, you just make things work and you're like MacGyver. And if you're young, you probably don't know who that is. Maybe on reruns, maybe. uh, but being able to take disparate things and create what is needed, or create something valuable out of pieces of things that could potentially just be trash, or unusable, or really not serve any purpose, at least for now. And you know do something or achieve something in your life that needs to be done in the moment, and so we're able to show up and solve the problem. But like computer systems or programs, well, programs mostly, that start a certain way and then you jerry rig and fix a bug. And then because of that, something else happens and then you have to jerry rig again. And then all of a sudden you have this cascade of different things that are jerry rigged. Or another example might be the list of medicines some of our seniors are on, because one causes the next problem, and that problem can be solved by this medicine, but that causes another one. And those two combined cause another problem that require two more pills. And I mean, I've seen lists of 14 plus medicines, and it's crazy that people would have that many prescriptions going into their system. I mean, it just couldn't possibly be good for your body. And, was that first pill necessary? Maybe. I don't know, right? That's the challenge here, is knowing what is necessary and what is not. And that's what yoga and Ayurveda call us to do, right? Systemically, what are the basic building materials that we need for optimal functioning in the world with as little suffering as possible? And that could be a lot of things. And, part of the work and the showing up is to practice contemplation, meditation, yoga itself, to wash away all the things that may be telling us we have to keep jerry rigging, or telling us we need to keep taking more medicine, or telling us that we need to surrender our well-being to people who are quote unquote experts or politicians. And being able to then clearly see what is needed for you. And sometimes you do have to go through a process where you are therapeutically removing the things that don't belong or are blocking your ability to be well. And that could mean mind, body, or spirit, right? And I know sometimes it's hard to imagine what spiritual issues there are. I don't know how to necessarily address people who are atheists, but I think they understand energy, and I don't see energy too different than spiritual, although there is physical energy, there is mental energy, and in my opinion, there's spiritual energy. So being able to understand that, all three are impacted, one, by each other, but two, by the different things we have going on in our life. And if you start jerry rigging one, some of the others will fall in line and do the same. And what could jerry rigging be? Well, like artificially getting up at a certain time so that you can do certain things that you think will make your life better, not because you want to or because you actually will benefit from it, but because to better show up in a moment, you have to do that thing to give yourself the permission to show up better in that moment. And so you do that thing, like getting up earlier, working harder. yeah, in the next episode, I'll kind of cover some stuff that showed up in my memories and how I felt about it. Reading it from my new perspectives that I have. But in the moment, I was very, very confident in what I was saying. And similarly, we are confident about these jerry rigs, right? Like yesterday, I duct taped a mirror back together because I had picked it up from a place in the neighborhood. I either didn't notice the crack or I cracked it myself, and then the piece fell out. But it's a fully functional mirror that I can use when necessary for clients when I'm in this room, which doesn't have mirrors at the moment. And it was like, well, I don't want it to go to waste, so I could just tape it up. It's not a full-size mirror, but it does the job. And so sometimes we jerry rig out of either necessity or convenience, right? And so are there things that you're just kind of patchworking together? Like I've patchworked routines forever, but I can always tell based on what my desire is, right? It's not that we're always going to show up perfectly for these routines, but it's making negotiations and making adjustments within short amount of time to try to wiggle your way into the place you would be more comfortable with it being, rather than what it's supposed to be, right? And this might be getting a little confusing, so I want to bring it back around. Jerry rigging, I know that those of you who it resonates with, you're going to know exactly what I'm talking about, right? Fake it till you make it would be a jerry rig type way of doing things. Pushing yourself beyond your limits is often one of the consequences of jerry rigging your life with all these things, because you're like, oh, I can do this thing, and then I can do this thing, and then I can do this thing. And, the reason, or the essence of it comes back to why. Why? Jerry rigging is a function of survival, because you just have to get it done, or you just have to get to the end. You just have to get to the next thing. You just have to feel better for that moment longer. And that's okay, right? Seasons come and go. And for whatever reason, this is happening right now, and it's serving a purpose. However, where are you jerry rigging your life instead of fully showing up? Because if you're fully showing up in your life, it is not hard to do your life. Things may be challenging, like in a workout, but it's not hard to do it. It's not hard to show up for it. It's not hard to finish it. It's not hard to do this. I mean, I can't tell you the number of things that I've started and just left undone, or I started collecting for but never did anything with because I might use it but I never did, and then I end up throwing it away or wasting space or causing more work later. Right? These are the types of things that I would consider jerry rigging. You're trying to jerry rig your happiness predicated on things that are either around you or people that are around you or circumstances that you can participate in. They serve their purpose. Again, but why? So my wish for you is to evaluate where you may be jerry rigging your life. And sometimes it serves a purpose, like right here, to get the video done without a lot of disturbance or sound pollution. And it worked, and it's working, and I kind of like it because it makes use of all my equipment. But anyway, moreover, it's being able to see what is working and what is not. And if a jerry rig is needed to hold something in place until you can get it fixed or until you can get something else to replace it, that's okay too. But are you aware of that being the fact? Right, friends? Be well, be free.